not wasting any time whatsoever. We've got Miraidon and Calyrex Ice starting things off. We've got Miraidon and Walking Wake on the other side as well. So we're seeing things that, well, this is looking like the Walking Wake is going to start putting a lot of pressure this time round. Miraidon and Walking Wake in combination will be able to pick up a knockout on this Calyrex Ice Rider, regardless of whether it goes for its terrestrialization.
We've got the clash of the Baldea bicycle beasts on the field here. We've got that electric terrain. We've got that sun in the sky. But which of these Pokemon from Area 0 is going to be emerging the hero?
And worth noting here that the Miraidon with the Choice Scarf will be able to potentially pick their choice of knockouts here. A Draco Meteor coming down will be able to knock out either the Miraidon or the Walking Wake, depending on Luke wants to target down. But equally, they could just go for the switch.
Miraidon is getting in on out of there. Joining Calyrex Ice Rider on the field instead. Farigiraf, the rank master, battled all the way to the top and maybe could just go one step further. The Electric Seed defense boost here, really crucial in the face of the physically offensive Miraidon on Sosuke's side of the field. Walking Wake will just be protecting itself this turn around. Miraidon 2, Sosuke just getting in that all-important information as to what Luke has in mind.
Always against a choice Pokemon, you do want to think about what it's locking into to protect their fails on the Calyrex. So seeing Sosuke have the experience to play this turn defensively, where it's really quite tempting to start trying to put damage on the board as quickly as possible. Both of these trainers trying to feel out their opponents, feel how they want to play this match. But now Calyrex has failed to protect. It can protect again. And both of the Pokemon on Luke's side of the field are able to put up a Trick Room. So targeting becomes so important in this position.
Yeah, and other than the Snarl, there's no way to target both Pokemon on the other side. Snarl isn't the most offensive of moves, but at least both Pokemon on Luke's side will be taking super effective damage. It's time to get sparkly, trainers! Time for the terrestrialization. Miraidon on Sosuke's side has embraced the Terra Fire typing. It is fueling its firepower. It is heated. It is ready to go. The gas has been stepped on as Calyrex this time, just like you said, Ben, gets that Protect off. No damage coming into that slot. This turn around, the High Ghost team targeting down into the Calyrex Ice Rider. Now, we turn all our attention over onto the Miraidon. A big sun-boosted Flare Blitz right into the Farigiraf, and it's gonna be taking it all the way down to about a quarter of its HP. A huge amount of recoil damage to boot. What has Farigiraf locked into? Uh-oh, it's gonna be the Trick Room.
And now the Miraidon not being a fighting type anymore, it's not going to resist the foul play on the Farigiraf, so that could be taking some key knockouts here. And of course, the Calyrex Ice Rider on the other side of the field has the high horsepower. That's going to hit that now Terra Fire Miraidon for super effective damage. So just like that, we have an offensive team in Sosuke's just having the tables flipped on them.
I love this adaptation from Luke. We've seen Leech Seed so often, but this time it will be the high horsepower. Time for the responding terrestrialization. It's time for this Calyrex to get all crystalline. Gone for its Terra Fire. So much safer in the face of Sosuke's Miraidon, but is it gonna be enough? The helping hand. Luke is going all in on this. Helping Hoof, can we get an ooh? Everybody building up in the arena. The Walking Wake going for that Protect. It will be keeping itself safe, but is it gonna be the high horsepower into the Miraidon? No, just the Glacial Lance. It's gonna be resisting this handily.
And we'll see how well the Miraidon takes this. It's going to be pretty well, but will the follow-up be that foul play?
The collision course, and it's going to be targeted from Area 0 right into the Farigiraf. That's going to be enough for the KO.
First Pokemon down in our Juniors World Finals, and it looks like Sosuke is finding a way to play into this Trick Room environment, but now Iron Hands sets the stage. It gets its Quark Drive boost and gets its attack raised up. That's going to be big coming into this turn because the Miraidon is getting pretty low here. A low kick or even maybe a Drain Punch with the attack boost could be enough to pick up this KO on the Miraidon, leaving Walking Wake having to take the pointy end of a Glacial Lance.
Walking Wake and Miraidon, pretty heavy Pokemon. Low kick does damage based on your target's weight. They would not be taking that well whatsoever, especially with the attack boost. Miraidon is going to be zooming back around the Velodrome, going back to Sosuke. In its place, Indeedee, you're overwriting the terrain. You're meaning that Iron Hands is not hitting as hard. The Quark Drive is removed here. The Psychic Surge active.
This may give the Walking Wake the ability to take this attack this turn, give it a chance to attack. It's a low kick. Walking Wake, one of those heavy Pokemon, 57 HP, but not the follow-up. It's a high horsepower into the Indeedee. Hydro Steam!
Into the Calyrex, but it takes it oh so well, even though super effective.
Terra Fire as well. Walking Wake is one of those Pokemon that can act in the sun too. Hydro Steam gets more powerful rather than less powerful in that sunny condition. It's the best part of using Walking Wake in this scenario, but so impressive that the Calyrex took that so well.
Now, all decisions on the line here in this Trick Room environment. Can Luke capitalize? Can they make sure they are hitting fast and hitting hard? Sweeping through Sosuke's team, which has indexed more on the offensive. Does it have the resources to be able to withstand the onslaught? Walking Wake is just going to scout out behind Protect.
Love that Protect. You can't redirect any Glacial Lances because it does hit two
The Drain Punch. Indeedee is going to be hanging on through that. Again, the Quad Drive boost removed. The Glacial Lance.
Here we go.
Uh-oh, it looks like Indeedee might be going down this turn around. It's charging up that Frosty energy. It's connecting down. Indeedee was at your service, but now it's going back to its Pokeball.
And that is a chilling KO there as Luke responds with a KO, getting that chilling Nay boost, boosting up that Calyrex yet further. It doesn't look like Sosuke has brought their Ursaluna to combat this Trick Room environment. They were really depending on being able to knock out that Trick Room threat, but weren't able to do it in the early game. Now, Sosuke is a little bit under pressure, but we are, remember, getting to the end of our Trick Room environment, and this is when Sosuke has the opportunity to bite back.
Go on the offensive. Koraidon has rejoined the field here, and it's reset that sun as well, meaning that the Orichalcum Pulse is very much online. It's hitting so hard. Walking Wake now has its booster energy online as well. This from Sosuke, this combination of Pokemon says, I want to hit fast, I want to hit hard, but as long as the Trick Room is still up, they can't be hitting as fast as they would like to.
If Luke had two Trick Room Pokemon on the field at this point, this would be the turn where we see the double Trick Room, extending Trick Room yet further, but on the last turn of Trick Room, which is where we're at right now, it's just a double Protect that separates Sosuke from being in Trick Room or being out of Trick Room and being able to really put some pressure on, but here's a clever switch from Luke.
Luke pivoting in the Miraidon, ready for the end of Trick Room so that they can hit fast, and meaning that they can get the jump on Sosuke. Koraidon just stalling out that Trick Room environment once more. We turn our attention over to the Walking Wake. It attempts a Protect, but it will be failing here. And now the Glacial Lance. Walking Wake going to be taking neutral damage from this, but just how well is it going to be taking it? Connecting down the Walking Wake. That's going to be going all the way back to its Pokeball as well. Sosuke, we're down to their final two Pokemon.
This is the perfect environment for this Choice Specs Miraidon. One of the difficulties when you've got to lock in a move is you don't know exactly what move in the early game you want to lock into. Okay. Well, now we're here at the end of the match. The Indeedee has gone down, so this Electric Train for the Miraidon is uncontested. An Electro Drift into this Calyrex Shadow Rider that's just joined the field could be picking up a KO, and then it's two Pokemon against one, especially with that Iron Hands in the back. Luke looking like they've got the advantage here.
Miraidon has the Choice Scarf as well, outspeeding the Calyrex when once it would have been slower. Luke has really got Sosuke under the thumb. Can they capitalize? Can they kick this into overdrive? Can they step on the gas and take us all the way into game two as they race around the arena?
It all comes down to this. Calyrex protecting itself, not wanting to go down this turn, give the Miraidon just that little bit of extra time to go for its attacks. No risk.
Switch and the KO onto the Koraidon. It's just going to be this Calyrex Shadow Rider all by its lonesome here. But if there's one Pokemon that can turn this around for Sosuke, it is precisely this Calyrex Shadow Rider. It's got the Choice Specs. It means business. It's hitting fast, and it is hitting oh so hard. Can it pave the way through three Pokemon remaining over on Luke's side of the field?
If there was any Pokemon at all, any Pokemon that could do it, it's Calyrex Shadow Rider, one of the fastest Pokemon in the format. Here it is, launching out an Astral Barrage into this Iron Hands.
Summoning these spooky specters, clattering down into the Iron Hands, and it's brought down just above 50% HP. And this means the Calyrex has got this damage off for free, but Luke is not going to be wanting that to rack up one little bit.
3 more turns of Electric Terrain. Here it is, our trainers locking it in. Astral Barrage coming in again. Will be able to knock out Calyrex. Not enough for the Iron Hands!
4 HP on the Iron Hands. It's hanging on, but one of Luke's restricted Pokemon down and out for the count. Miraidon will be rejoining the fray here as Calyrex gets that all-important special attack boost. The Wild Charge, though, boosted by the train. Boosted! In the corner! It's the big one-hit KO! Your winner of Game 1, Luke Whittier!
Unbelievable. Unbelievable that Luke was able to play so well in the face of Sosuke's just unbelievable amount of damage output that they've got. Just finding those little windows, finding a way to get into Trick Room and capitalizing on it, taking every opportunity, playing it safe, getting that little switch in on the Miraidon at the end of it to be able to take it all, and just to be able to have the fortitude to say, no, I'm not just going to go for the Calyrex, I'm going to get my Miraidon out there, I'm not going to take any risks whatsoever and clean this game up.
All-out offense coming out from Sosuke's side of the field, but Luke's team had the backbone that it needed to be able to withstand that onslaught. And now, as we approach Game 2, Luke is one game away from becoming your junior video game world champion 2025. Sosuke would have to win the next one to take us to a Game 3. Best of 3 is how it works here, trainers.
I'm telling you now, Charlie, it looks like Luke's been playing for a lot longer than one season right now.
100%.
A lot longer. Look at that. Final wild charge KO. I'm so impressed that this Iron Hand managed to hang on as well. It's just a testament to the training that Luke has put in. He was speaking, the friends and family were speaking, and they were talking about the preparation for this event. Luke was thinking, hey, I don't know what team to run, working through a few different options, something that he'd won a regional championships with, but I bet he's happy that he changed things up right now.
100% Ben, this master of versatility, and now just one game stands between them and the title. But Ben, approaching the second game, what adaptations do you want to see?
I mean, if you're going to go for the same game, if you're Sosuke, you've got to really get those targets right. I mean, if you don't KO those Trick Room Pokemon, then you really get into trouble quite quickly. The other way to do this is to allow the Trick Room, bring in your Ursaluna in the back and say, you know what, no. I've got a Trick Room answer too. I've got a Pokemon that could be just as slow as you, and to dish out the damage that way. That means that Luke doesn't get to attack quite so readily in those Trick Room environments where once it was set up, it was Glacial Lance after high horsepower after Glacial Lance, and that was what really put the pressure on Sosuke.
Slow but fast, of course, in Trick Room, reversing those dimensions. Well, what do you say, everybody? Are we ready for Game 2? I thought you might be. Let's kick it off with our leads. And for Luke, it will be the Calyrex Ice Rider and Rhydon, and a bit of a switch up here from Sosuke. The Whimsicott and Koraidon.
Whimsicott here is a really nice switch up because it's got the ability to go for an Endeavor as well as the ability to taunt. But I'm wondering, I'm looking at this Tailwind as an option, and maybe one of the game plans that Sosuke's thinking that they can go for is try to catch this Miraidon or whatever switches in early in the game, get a Tailwind up. You know that you're going to be slower than Luke's team under Trick Room, so getting a Tailwind really not going to make too much difference here. But if you can pick up a KO on something, if you can stop Luke being able to switch around, if you can take away some of Luke's offensive options early, that makes it just that bit easier to get all the way through a Trick Room environment.
It's a really fantastic point, Ben. You could even just go on the offense and go for a Moonblast into that Miraidon. Sure, Whimsicott isn't the biggest of attackers, but every little bit of damage will rack up and just pave the way through Luke's team that, of course, was so difficult for Sosuke to face in that Game 1.
And yeah, I wonder if there is an opportunity here for Luke to just go on the offensive, not even set up the Trick Room this turn, just a Glacial Lance into these two Pokemon that really don't want to take it.
Miraidon zooming back around the Velodrome back to his trainer as Frigoroth this time is going to be joining the fray instead. Once more, getting that Electric Sea defense boost just like we saw in the previous game, meaning it can withstand Koraidon's onslaught all the better. Koraidon now keeping itself safe. It's gone for that Protect. We turn our attention over to the Calyrex, also going for its Protect. Just what has this Whimsicott done? Just where has it targeted? Attempted the taunt, but thanks to Frigoroth's Armor Tail, blocking that Prankster move. Fantastic switch there from Luke.
You can see just how good that switching in. It worked in Game 1. It allowed the Frigoroth to take the attack from the Flare Blitz with the Electric Seed boost, but also blocking the taunt as well. That really takes away a lot of the wind out of Whimsicott's sails here, as Koraidon now needs to dig deep with a Flare Blitz, with that Terra Fire that it looks like it's going for, now turning up the heat, seeing if it can pick up a knockout.
Just like we saw in the previous game, Sosuke is pulling no punches with this Koraidon. It lets out that howl from the past, but let's see if we're going back to the future with the responding terrestrialization over on Luke's side of the field. And the target of choice, once more, this Calyrex Ice Rider. It's become Calyrex Fire Rider trainers. It's going to be able to soak up the damage that Koraidon can do so much better. That Nay could well become chilling, despite how heated it is. The Endeavor Frigoroth brought down pretty low there in the grand scheme of things. The Flare Blitz targeted into the Frigoroth, channeling all that firepower. Goodbye from Frigoroth! The critical hit there, doubtful that that mattered.
Wow, I think that was just such a phenomenal play there. The training of the Koraidon and the Whimsicott there working absolutely in
the Glacial Lance, and the Whimsicott, of course, is just brought down to its focus sash, hanging on.
Wow, now this Whimsicott is super, super scary. And Endeavor will knock any Pokemon down to the same HP as Whimsicott's on. That's 1 HP. Only a Pokemon that is faster than Whimsicott will be able to deal with that move. There's a Miraidon in the back, but if you bring out the Miraidon, or the Iron Hands actually, to go for a priority fake out there, and maybe this is the opportunity that Luke needs to get into that Trick Room environment. But what a way to show off from Sosuke the offensive nature of this team, just the decisions that they've made along the way to get absolutely everything out of it. Of course you want your Whimsicott to go before your Koraidon. You can make sure you're picking up those key knockouts.
But the Iron Hands could just fake out the Whimsicott this turn and deal with it. Whimsicott does not have access to protect here, so it might not be long for this match. 1 HP, infinitely more than 0, Ben. Might be that Sosuke is considering a switch in from the back.
And of course, you've got the potential for the Psychic Terrain to be there to block the fake out as well. That would also block the damage and maybe get this one of these Pokemon down, but no, fake out, no switching coming in. The Whimsicott goes down. No more Endeavor for the rest of this match.
Cotton Puff has been dealt with. The big Sun boosted, Orichalcum boosted, Terra Fire boosted, Flare Blitz, and it's charging right into the Iron Hand. It's brought down to 17 HP. It's enough to hang on, but Koraidon takes so much recoil in return. And there it is, Ben. Those twisted dimensions that were such a thorn in Sosuke's side, they have just gone up.
One of the things that makes Iron Hands, though, so dangerous in this format, yes, it can tank all those big hits every day of the week, but it can also heal them back up. Heal its HP back up with a Drain Punch here. So with the Walking Wake coming, and that Koraidon so low, so easily in range of a Glacial Lance, this Iron Hands has its pick on how it wants to target. Now, a low kick would probably put that Walking Wake into range of a Glacial Lance as well. I think that's probably what Luke is thinking about locking in this spot. As the Koraidon plays on the defensive, you've got to take every opportunity if you're Sosuke to try and get through this Trick Room. Double protect on the Walking Wake.
Unsurprising to see as those Trick Room turns expire, the low kick attempted to be targeted into the Walking Wake here, just to deal with that heavy Pokemon. Calyrex, the Glacial Lance, just able to probably pick off the Koraidon from this range, despite the fact that it's not very effective. But now heading into the next turn, of course, that Protect has been burned. Only a third as likely to succeed as we get into the next turn.
And looking in the back, there's not many Pokemon that really want to switch into this Glacial Lance and low kick. You've got the Calyrex, which would not take any damage from the low kick whatsoever, but 2 Glacial Lances is probably enough to knock that out. The Indeedee is in pretty much the same spot, and Ursaluna as well. 2 super effective moves. It definitely doesn't want to switch in this environment. Now Sosuke is going to have to still try to find a way to play on the defensive. They managed it so well in game 1. If they manage it in game 2, we could be seeing a game 3 here.
It's the reveal of the final Pokemon Sosuke's brought, and it will be that Calyrex Shadow Rider. You don't want to see it in the Trick Room, but as you said, Ben, if it was the low kick targeted into that slot, won't be doing any damage here. Too nervous to eat berries, too nervous to do anything than keep your eyes on the screen. Koraidon gets the double protect here, stalling out those turns so masterfully. The low kick attempted right into that Calyrex Shadow Rider. Sosuke is adapting so masterfully, but how well is it going to be able to take this Glacial Lance now? It's summoning that Frosty energy. Calyrex staring down Calyrex, the showdown of the Galar Titans, and it's brought down to about a quarter of its HP.
Now there's still a few turns of Trick Room left, but one thing that Sosuke has in their favor with 2 turns of Trick Room left on the field is that Electric Terrain has left, and so that Iron Hands is going to be doing just that little bit less damage. That may mean there's an avenue for Sosuke to bring in the Walking Wake here. Try to take the Glacial Lance, try to avoid any damage from the low kick. Try to maybe take that so they can get out of Trick Room with a double protect.
It's going to be the switch of the Calyrex galloping back to its trainer. Walking Wake has risen from the past right into the present on the field once more, activating the booster energy now that the sun is no longer in the sky. It's going to be going all the faster, which outside of Trick Room will be handy. The Drain Punch now, that's enough, easily enough to secure the KO onto Koraidon, and that's the terrestrialization option down and out too. Slowly but surely, Sosuke's resources are being whittled away.
And it's going to be a single target Glacial Lance here coming out from this Calyrex into the Walking Wake. That's going to be even more powerful than usual. Here it comes.
It's going to be a lot, doing more damage. The Walking Wake brought down to about a fifth of its HP.
But it is still on the field. There is one more turn of Trick Room for these trainers to have to navigate. Luke needs to pick up a KO on this Calyrex, and Sosuke isn't able to protect it this turn. The Walking Wake will be able to protect itself, get itself out of Trick Room, and then it's got the uphill battle against the rest of the Pokemon at Luke's disposal.
This is looking a little bit difficult for Sosuke here. The Calyrex cannot protect. The Glacial Lance just able to secure the KO, and then Walking Wake left all by its lonesome. It's going to be the switch of the Iron Hands for Luke, coming in its stead, zooming onto the field. That Miraidon back around this direction of the Velodrome, and now activating that electric terrain once more. The Hadron engine getting it pumped up. Walking Wake is able to stall out for one more turn, but this Calyrex Shadow Rider is looking mighty vulnerable. Glacial Lance, this should be curtains for Sosuke's Crown Tundra hero now. Here it comes, the pointy end of the Glacial Lance, and that's Calyrex returning to his Pokeball. One Pokemon stands between Luke Whittier and the video game Junior Division World Championships title 2025.
He's played this so well. Twisted Dimensions return to normal. We got a twist-star Pokemon.
Miraidon right into that Walking Wake. It's down. It's going to be Luke Whittier.